Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. There's been a lot of talk lately about who should get the next lightweight title shot. We know that Charles Oliveira is defending his lightweight title against Dustin Poirier next month at UFC 269. I believe it's December 11th. But there's been some talk about who's getting the next title shot after that. Now, there's been, Khabib Nurmagomedov tweeting out, Islam Makhachev has been tweeting out, and Justin Gaethje all have been tweeting back and forth to each other. Khabib saying that Islam deserves the next title shot. Islam obviously saying he deserves the next title shot. And then Justin Gaethje saying he deserves the next title shot. So I wanted to make a video and give you my opinion on who I think deserves the next title shot and also who I think the UFC gives the next title shot to. So I'm going to get that in a minute. But first off, let's look at some of these guys' resume because Islam Makhachev is currently 21-1. He's only ever lost one fight. That was the Adriano Martins back at UFC 192, October of 2015. So Islam has not lost a fight in 6 years, which is absolutely crazy. Now, you look at Justin Gaethje, he's only on a one-fight winning streak right now. He has a win over Michael Chandler at UFC 268. We all saw it last week. Amazing fight, spectacular fight by both guys. Now, I believe that if Michael Chandler had won this fight, I believe it would be an open and shut case that Islam Makhachev was getting the next title shot because Chandler had already fought for the belt. He would only have 2 wins in the UFC, would only be on a one-fight win streak. And especially if Charles Oliveira wins at UFC 269, then I don't know the UFC would be so inclined to run that fight back. But that's not what happened. Justin Gaethje wins. It's an absolute spectacular performance. Before that, Justin Gaethje was the interim lightweight champion. He fought Khabib Nurmagomedov back at UFC 254, October of 2020. He lost that fight via second round triangle. He was choked unconscious. Before that is when he gained the interim lightweight title. He beat Tony Ferguson, but I know a lot of people devalue that win. They're dancing on Tony Ferguson's grave right now. Tony Ferguson is an elite fighter and was an elite fighter at that point in time, and Justin Gaethje stepped in on short notice and absolutely dismantled Tony Ferguson. And a lot of people forget. Also, Justin Gaethje was hurt badly at the end of that first round, and he recovered, overcame the adversity, and absolutely dominated the fight. Before that, he TKO'd Donald Cerrone, not the greatest win. Before that, he KO'd Edson Barboza. I think that's a very high-quality win. Before that, he KO's James Vick. Before that, he was on a 2-fight losing streak, one against Dustin Poirier and one against Eddie Alvarez. And again, he lost both those fights, and he lost them both by stoppage. But he was very in both of those fights. He was just too reckless, got too carried away, and Dustin and Eddie Alvarez were just the better men on that night. But they were, very competitive fights. It's not like he just got starched. And before that was his UFC debut. So one thing I want to take into account when I think about my decision on who I think, my opinion on who I think should get the next lightweight title shot, but also the UFC's decision to give the next title shot to this guy or that guy. I know they're more inclined to treat fighters who have exciting fights. They're more likely to show them favoritism. And I think in this case, Justin Gaethje, I'm not saying Islam Makhachev is a boring fighter by any means. Justin Gaethje, his nickname is the highlight reel. And every single fight, I've watched him since his World Series of Fighting days against Luis Palomino, and those fights were insane. And every single fight that he's been in the UFC has been absolutely crazy, either a quick finish or an absolute crazy war. The Michael Johnson fight was insane. And obviously the Michael Chandler fight was insane at UFC 268. Now, I know he has those 3 losses in the UFC, and I know some people want to hold them against him. I think Khabib mentioned that. You have 3 losses in X amount of fights in the UFC. You look at Islam, and one thing he has in his favor is he has this long win streak. I believe it's a 9-fight win streak. But you start to kind of pick apart that resume a little bit, and you guys know I love to do that. And Dan Hooker, great win at UFC 267 2 weeks ago. It was a solid win. But Dan Hooker took that on short notice with a less than ideal training camp, coming off a 3-round decision against Nasrat not that long before the fight was announced. Before that, a win over Thiago Moises. Okay, a decent win, but that win hasn't aged very well either. Thiago Moises just got slept by Joel Alvarez. Before that, a submission win over Drew Dober. Decent win. And before that, a win over Davy Ramos, a decision. Before that, a decision win over Arman Sarukian, which I believe may be the best win on Islam Makhachev's resume. And I know that Islam Makhachev is an elite fighter. I know that, he's on the brink of a title shot. But you look at the level of opponents and you contrast it with Justin Gaethje, who's fought Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson, Khabib. I know he lost. Then you look at Edson Barboza, Dustin Poirier, Eddie Alvarez. I personally think it's more about the quality of the names than the winning streak itself. And I know sometimes the winning streak matters, but in this case, in my opinion, I think Justin Gaethje should be getting the next title shot. He was the interim champ. He lost to Khabib. I mean, who hasn't lost to Khabib at this point? He hadn't lost the I don't like that Justin Gaethje wasn't super active after losing the belt to Khabib Nurmagomedov last year, but now he came back. He had a crazy fight against Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's an elite fighter. Michael Chandler was only a second away from becoming the lightweight champion. He almost stopped Charles Oliveira in that first round. So I think that's a quality win. And also, I think that Michael Chandler, and I hate to say this, Michael Chandler, the win over Michael Chandler is better than every win on Islam Makhachev's resume. Now, I do think Islam Makhachev is very close to a title shot. If I'm the UFC, I book Islam Makhachev versus Beneil Dariush, and I book Justin Gaethje versus the winner of Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier next month. I think that makes the most sense. Give Justin Gaethje the next shot, the winner of the fight at UFC 269. Let Islam Makhachev fight Beneil Dariush. Islam came out of his fight with Dan Hooker unscathed. And, Justin Gaethje is going to need a little bit of time. And obviously the winner at UFC 269 is going to need a little bit of time. But Beneil Dariush said he wanted to fight like between December and February, of the end of this year to the early next year. So that makes perfect sense. Maybe book Islam versus Beneil in January or February. Then if he beats Beneil Dariush, who I believe is currently ranked number 3, unless the rankings have changed since I last looked, Islam Makhachev gets the winner of whoever Justin Gaethje fights for the undisputed lightweight title. So I think that's what should happen. I just think Justin Gaethje has fought more quality opponents. He's super exciting. He's the former interim lightweight champion. Has that great win over Tony Ferguson. So I really think that's what should happen next. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And by the way, if you haven't noticed yet, I did get a new mic. So thank you to everyone who's watched videos on this channel, donated to this channel, become a member of this channel. You've all helped me purchase this mic. I appreciate you very much. And I will see you in the next video.